All right, YouTube, back in it for another one. You know what it is. Wasn't really planning on making a video today. Had a kind of a rough one at work a little bit. You know, it's hot as hell out. And of course, I got a job up on the roof. And you know how hot it gets on the roofs, man. It was one of those days, especially after the election last night. I really wasn't in the mood unless I was going to come out here and rant about the election. But I don't like to bring politics onto this channel. Like, it's not a good scene when you do that. All I'm gonna say is I didn't vote for the little prick that won. I didn't vote for that party. That's all I'm gonna say. Canada is like, we got some dumbass people up here in Canada. But I seen this post from Mark, and Mark Rubin, you guys know I have my beefs with Xdefiant, and I was one of the people out here that was honest about the game. I called out a lot of the things that were wrong with the game because I wanted to see the game succeed. I didn't want to see it hit this point, because we are at the point now where it's time to say goodbye. I think we got like a few weeks left with this game. But one of the reasons why I soldiered for the game like I did, one of the reasons why I wanted to see it succeed, because I think Mark Rubin actually knows what gaming needs right now. I think he's a good dude, and he has the right message, and his team behind him, they could have done something special. The biggest mistake they made with Xdefiant was dropping that game with as terrible netcode as it has. It was a free-to-play game, right? So when people jump on the game and it's broken as hell like that, they're dying like 10 feet around corners. Like, you guys remember how bad it was. And it was like that in the betas and the alphas too. Like, it never changed when we got the launch. Like, the game was still broken like that. You know, people, they got nothing to lose at that point. They're just going to dip. They're like, why am I going to play this broken-ass game? It didn't cost me anything. I'm not going to lose nothing. I'm just going to bounce. As frustrating as Call of Duty is, I could just go over there and play zombies or something. You know, and that was, I mean, there was a few different things, but that was the main problem with Xdefiant. But I got to show you guys this post from Mark. He responds to, actually, one of the subscribers. Shout out to the homie Mayhem. He dropped a post on Twitter, and he tags Xdefiant and Mark and says, "Just finished another session. I missed the game, and it's not even gone. Thank you for making a game with fans in mind. Activision deserves what's happening to them for putting money and greed over just making a game that's fun. I'll never go back." And he puts up a screenshot that he's never played. He hasn't played Call of Duty in almost a year now. Yo, shout out to the homie, man. Good shit. Mayhem, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Like, you out here, you're not talking it, you're walking the walk too. I appreciate you, man. I got nothing but respect for that. Unfortunately for me, with this channel, I'm kind of stuck. You already know what it is, but shout out to the homie. And Mark Rubin with the fantastic reply, absolutely goated, pimp slapping Activision over here. And he says to Mayhem, "Thank you. A lot of games, Call of Duty included, just focus on how to make the most money possible out of the player base. They rely heavily on FOMO marketing and EOMM matches." This is a developer in the space saying this. Even though Activision tries to say that EOMM does not exist. We had that nerd, Charlie or whatever his name was. He didn't even know that we had global player counts in the OG CODs out here talking all that nonsense. You know, just spitting that narrative, you know, damage control. This is what they're all about. This is a dev in the scene confirming this shit. But anyways, he says, "But I feel like it used to be just more about the quality of the game, which would drive players to play. And that means making the game more player-centric, i.e. less engagement-based tactics and higher quality experiences for the players. Better maps, modes, etc. In other words, your game should have a high player count because it's good and people want to play it, rather than people playing it because the game has a $250 million marketing budget. Everything just said is very simplified, as it would take too long to really go into it. One last simple analogy. Be more like Larian, less like Activision." Yo, tier what? Mark Rubin, tier 1 tweet, man. That's beautiful right there. You love to see this, especially out of these developers. And he's not only calling out Activision, though, with this. He's calling out the gaming landscape as a whole. We got a lot of greedy-ass developers and publishers out here that do not care about the player base. Just how much How much can they wring that towel dry and just squeeze their player base for everything they got? This is what it's all about in today's gaming. This is what we try to keep telling these youngsters out here that keep buying $30 and $40 bundles and shit in a full price game with seasonal battle passes and seasonal black cell battle passes and event passes and the whole nine. And they get out here crying and hating with the toxicity, defending this bullshit. We're trying to tell you, man, you had to pay full price to get your foot in the door. What are you defending? Imagine being so mindfucked, so brain dead, these sheep, that they actually get out here for the multi-billion-dollar company just trying to take them for everything they got, and they hate on people looking out for their wallet. Dude, you can't make it up. But shout out to Mark Rubin. That's some real shit. I wish we could keep him around. Mark, don't give up with Xdefiant, man. You know what you need to do? I'll tell you what you need to do, man. You need to keep your little team together, and you need to work on a game very similar to the OG CODs. Follow that. Like, you were in the COD scene for a long time, man. You know what it is. You need to keep that similar. Like, take a few good things that you did with Xdefiant. Focus on a modern military shooter. None of that directional bunny hop nonsense. Get some kill streaks in there, man. There's no way Activision has a patent on kill streaks. You go on streaks in the game. Get some streaks in that game. You know, open up your maps just a little bit. But your maps, I still enjoyed some of the maps over there in Xdefiant. Like, there was a couple that I didn't really like, but most of them were actually, like, okay. They weren't god-awful like these maps we see now in God, just brain rot TikTok maps. Get your team together with this mindset and hit this community with a modern military shooter similar to OG Call of Duty with the same principles you had going into Xdefiant. Just try to release the game more complete this time, more finished, not broken like Xdefiant was. And I promise, you will not only be competition, you will take over this FPS space. Everybody's going to be running to you, and y'all are going to be making money like crazy, man. It's going to be a license to print money at this point. You give us games like COD 4 similar to that, a game like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, OG MW2, OG MW3. You give us something on that level, dude, I'm telling you, a license to print money. Especially now, with all these games chasing that Fortnite bag, it's like these games think you either need an extraction shooter or you need a battle royale. Like, there's, you know, what happened to what made gaming great in the first place? We all grew up on multiplayer. We still love multiplayer, but the fact is we're not getting quality multiplayer in this modern era. So that's why people say, like, people see this or they see that. Like, they see Xdefiant failing, right? Xdefiant's getting shut down, and you got idiots like room temperature IQ, complete morons. Like, these people, I don't even know how they make it through life, and they're using Xdefiant to make the point that having no skill-based matchmaking doesn't work. Xdefiant failed for completely other reasons. The only reason why it hung on as long as it did was because of the matchmaking. But people are not going to stick around in a game that's lacking content and clearly wasn't ready. It wasn't polished. It was broken at launch. Like, you know, people, they got their narratives, they got their bullshit. There's a lot of idiots out here in the gaming space. I wish everybody just had the right message with these YouTube channels, but it is what it is, and I don't control what these bitches are doing. But we need to just go back to basics, man. Go back to what made gaming great in the first place. Mark, I know you know what I'm talking about. That's all I got for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you on the next one.